Hi guys, welcome back to GP Reactions. I hope you're well. I hope you've been having a fantastic week. We're now up to Thursday, so just another day to go until the weekend again. And hopefully, who knows what the weather's going to do, but if the weather's absolutely pants, I'm going to have a really good session of doing reactions on Saturday. Touch wood, I'm feeling okay. I'm still a little bit sort of groggy from this virus thing I had, but every day I feel like I've got a little bit more energy. And yeah, I'm taking the opportunity right now to do a reaction. So I'm really looking forward to this. But first of all, just thanks to everybody that has subscribed, that has commented, and yeah, anyone that has donated to my Buy Me a Coffee, which is really, really helpful and it's so much appreciated. Um, yeah, so I'm going to be reacting to a track that I came across when I was just looking at the top 40 charts from various years, which I like to do. I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to looking through top 40. If I see a song by an artist that I recognise, but maybe think that's an unusual looking track, I haven't heard that before, then I usually see if it's feasible to react to it. And indeed, I have heard of Jona Lewie, who I'm about to react to, and I remember very, very well. I think it was later on in 1980 that he had a huge hit with Stop the Cavalry, which I think came out in about October or November, but is now essentially been adopted as 100% a Christmas record. But he also had another track out during, I think it was early May. I think I've got the date down here. Yeah, it was actually released or entered the UK Top 40 on the 10th of May, and this track actually reached number 16. I don't think there's an album attached to this track. I think it's a standalone single. I'm not sure if Louis ever produced any albums, but and the one interesting thing I actually read about Jona Lewie was, and I don't know if this is true or not, because I always assumed Jona Lewie to be from Birmingham, but he was born in Southampton, so I'm a little bit confused there. So maybe that's right or wrong. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this track. It came out in May 1980. What was I listening to back then? I think definitely Dexys Midnight Runners, and there was a few cheesy tracks as well, and a few sort of like almost post-disco tracks I remember from that time. Um, but this one, it looks very familiar, but I can't quite place it. I can't think of how this would go, so I've chosen a Top of the Pops version, which I'm really looking forward to, and let's see if it kind of sparks any memories for me. So without further ado, hopefully this won't get blocked. This is Jona Lewie with You'll Always Find Me in the Kitchen at Parties. Turn the volume a bit.
I'm no good at chatting up and always get rebuffed. Enough to drive a man to drink, I don't do no washing up. I always leave the stuff piled up in the sink.
But you will always find him in the kitchen at parties.
Me and my girlfriend.
That looks a lot like, let me just tell you about it. That looks a lot like Kirsty. I don't know why, it looks like a very young Kirsty McCall. I'm sure she had a song out about Elvis in a chip shop or something. But yeah, that looks a lot like Kirsty McCall. Uh, it's either that or it's a backing singer who bears a remarkable likeness to her. I'm loving the synths at the beginning of this as well. So I'm just gonna take this back a little bit. Let me just take that back to the start actually.
I'm no good at chatting up and always get rebuffed. Enough to drive a man to drink, I don't do no washing up. I always leave the stuff piled up in the sink.
But you will always find him in the kitchen at parties.
Me and my girlfriend, we argued and she ran away from home.
You know, apart from the synths, I've got to say that bass is kicking. That's really, really good bass.
She must have found somebody new
I'm loving the sound on this. By the way, I do remember this. It took me a little while to, and when that hook came in, I definitely remember it. It's one of those like wonderful songs that was on the tip of was on the edge of my memory, and it kind of brings back various feelings when you hear something that you haven't really heard since it came out, and it's just it's just like whoa, this is really good, and I like it as well. It's quite chilled, but he's got a very his voice is very droll, but I just like really like his delivery, and I remember liking that similarly with Stop the Cavalry, and yeah, it's just a really good record. I'm loving the synths on this.
Then I met this debutante, I said I like you, I brought. She was into French cuisine, but I ain't no cordon bleu. This was at some doing on the screen.
Bit of info here.
I had no luck with her.
You will still find him in the kitchen at parties. You will still find him in the kitchen at parties.
At last I met a pretty girl. She laughed and talked with me. We both walked out of the kitchen and asked him a new way.
Right, it's dance. So I'll say.
And now I've done my time in the kitchen at parties. I've done my time in the kitchen at parties.
He's done his time in the kitchen at parties.
I love it. I love the backing vocals, and this. There's no sort of it's a very girls at the end of a road type backing vocals, but I'm pretty sure that's definitely Kirsten McCall. If I'm completely wrong, please point that out. But I really like his delivery, and I really liked his vocal delivery on this. It's just that storytelling. I need to listen to more by Jona Lewie. I have not got a clue what else he's actually done. Um, and I wasn't really fully listening to the lyrics, but I just get the impression that the kitchen at parties is a maybe a lonely place to be, and you know it's always where you kind of go to maybe hang out and see if you're gonna like attract, because everybody goes to the kitchen, but nobody really stays at the kitchen, but people head there for get drinks and stuff, and I guess that is your dating site, the kitchen, and when you do find that person that you really like and you do kind of hit it off, then you can then progress to the living room, hopefully if you're really really lucky, and yeah, it's yeah, I've spent a fair bit of time in the kitchen myself at parties, and it's actually I used to love hanging out in the kitchen. um And it is weird when I had a party around my house as well years ago. The kitchen was like the main area where people were hanging out, and so yeah, you pretty much always find me in the kitchen at parties or somewhere, or maybe with my head down. No, I shouldn't say that really. Although I don't really kind of take to alcohol very well, so I generally maybe start in the kitchen and end up sort of doubled over somewhere. Yeah, this was really, really good. I really love the bass. I really love the synths on this, and just the whole general sort of an ensemble. So it's a really, really cool record. Very 1980, and I'm still trying to think what else there was around at this time. I know that you had the likes of Fisher, you had the likes of Kelly Marie, Liquid Gold, uh, and you had like a few kind of like you had the theme from MASH, if I remember. You had, I think, Kenny Rogers. Um, Don McLean crying. It's a really good record actually. And I think I reacted to another record which is like one of my favourites was Hot Chocolate, no doubt about it. And I was kind of thinking of maybe coming back to that again with trying to find a live version because I've seen a lot of studio versions or videos with Hot Chocolate, which are great. And I love Errol Brown's persona, his stage presence, but I would really, really love to kind of get like a proper live version of them singing, and I've just never gotten round to a live Hot Chocolate record with Errol Brown on. Whether many exist, I have no idea. But yeah, I'm sort of like transgressing. This is Jona Lewie. You'll always find me in the kitchen at parties, and it's just it was just a really nice, cool, fun record to listen to, and and I guess what I really like about a record is just that you can sort of be absorbed by the music, but also the lyrics are very audible. You understand what the story's about. I do love a good story in a song as well. So yeah, that said, this was really really cool, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts or memories about this song, like I said, I haven't I didn't have many. I mean, I couldn't really kind of pick the song up until I started hearing the two girls, Kirsty McCall and the other singer, um, with that kind of like backing hook. So this is you always find me in the kitchen at Parlour. But I thought, yeah, yeah, and little things started to kind of drop in there, little memories, and it's crazy, but the only this song reminds me of a time when I can't remember what it was, but there was this big old house, and we, I think probably about 20 of us from school, were just hanging around, and I remember it being sort of like this time of year as well. We're just hanging around, and we went into this big old house, and it had a cellar, so we went down into the cellar, and yeah, it was, and one of the lads closed the door of the cellar, and it was all like supposed to be a big prank, but it's pretty hairy. But yeah, it was quite a fun time, a little bit edgy because, and anybody who goes around in big groups, there's always like a ringleader, and the ringleader he's always going to do something that's a little bit risque, and I was very shy, not very, I wasn't a risk taking teenager at all. How old would I have been? About 13. Um, I was always getting ill. I remember around about this time because I had like tonsillitis, and I think it was a couple of months later that they took the tonsils out. So yeah, again, I have memories of that, and so yeah, it was I guess I was sort of going into embracing that year of teenage years, I suppose, and this was the first steps in 1980. Was kind of hanging out with groups of people. Big gang, I suppose, were probably quite intimidating for people, um, more older, who big gang of kids marauding through the streets. Um, and now I would personally find that quite intimidating too. So, um, but yeah, this song reminded me when I heard it of that time. So there you go. Anyway, folks, please join me in the comments below. I really appreciate your comments, and I will join you for another reaction real soon. So take care of yourselves. Have a great rest of the week, and hopefully see you again over the weekend.